Most people with fatty liver disease have no idea they have it. No pain, no obvious symptoms. Just a liver that is quietly struggling under the surface, storing fat it cannot process, inflamed and overworked every single day. And here is what makes it worse. The foods most people think are healthy are often the exact foods pushing their liver further into damage. But here is what the research is now showing us. Certain fruits, eaten consistently and in the right way, can actively help your liver flush out stored fat, reduce inflammation, and begin to repair itself at the cellular level. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the top 5 fruits that clinical research has linked directly to liver fat reduction and liver cell recovery. I will also tell you which common fruits you need to limit immediately because they are quietly making fatty liver worse. Stay with me through number 3. Most people have never considered it for liver health, and the data behind it genuinely surprised me when I first read it. Blueberries. And before you move past this one thinking you already know it, I want you to stay with me for a moment, because the mechanism behind what blueberries do inside your liver is not what most people expect. Let me start with a real case. A 45-year-old man came into a hepatology clinic with grade 2 fatty liver disease. He was tired most afternoons, had mild discomfort in the upper right side of his abdomen, and his liver enzyme levels, specifically his ALT, were elevated well above the normal range. His doctor recommended dietary changes. One of the specific additions to his protocol was a daily serving of blueberries. 8 weeks later, his follow-up blood work showed a measurable drop in ALT and a reduction in key inflammatory markers. His doctor noted the change. He had made no other significant dietary shifts during that period. So, what is actually happening inside the liver when you eat blueberries consistently? Blueberries are one of the richest known sources of a class of compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give the berry its deep blue and purple color. But inside your body, anthocyanins do something far more important than color. They act as powerful antioxidants that specifically target oxidative stress in liver tissue. Here is why that matters. When fat accumulates in liver cells, it creates a condition of chronic low-grade oxidative stress. Free radicals build up. Liver cells become inflamed. Over time, that inflammation is what drives fatty liver from a manageable condition into something more serious, including fibrosis and cirrhosis. Anthocyanins neutralize those free radicals directly. They reduce the inflammatory signaling inside liver cells and help slow the progression of damage. A study published in the World Journal of Gastroenterology found that anthocyanin-rich diets were associated with significantly reduced liver fat accumulation and lower markers of liver inflammation in participants with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Blueberries also support the production of glutathione, which is the liver's most powerful internal detoxification compound. More glutathione means your liver can neutralize and eliminate toxins more efficiently, reducing the ongoing burden on already stressed liver cells. Here is how to get the most benefit. Aim for around half a cup to 1 full cup of blueberries per day. Fresh is ideal. Frozen without added sugar is a strong second option because the freezing process actually preserves the anthocyanin content well. Dried blueberries with added sugar cancel out most of the benefit, so avoid those. Eat them in the morning, ideally with a source of protein or healthy fat. This slows the absorption of natural fruit sugars and gives your liver a steadier, more manageable fuel load rather than a spike. If you are already eating blueberries regularly and you believe they are genuinely helping your liver, go ahead and type the number 7 in the comments right now. I read every single comment and I want to know how many people watching this are already ahead of the curve on this one. Grapefruit. And this one comes with something the others on this list do not. A direct warning for a specific group of people that your doctor may never have mentioned to you. But first, let me show you why grapefruit earns its place on this list, because the science behind what it does to liver fat is genuinely impressive. A 52-year-old woman had been managing both fatty liver disease and elevated triglycerides for nearly 3 years. She had tried adjusting her diet in general ways, cutting fried food, reducing red meat, but her progress had plateaued. Her integrative medicine physician suggested one specific addition to her morning routine: half a fresh grapefruit, eaten whole, before breakfast. After 8 weeks, her follow-up ultrasound showed a measurable reduction in liver echogenicity, which is the clinical indicator of fat density in the liver. Her triglyceride levels had also dropped by a clinically meaningful margin. Her physician documented the change and noted the dietary addition as a contributing factor. The mechanism behind this comes down to two compounds found in high concentrations in grapefruit: naringenin and naringin. These are flavonoids, and what makes them remarkable is that they activate specific enzyme pathways inside the liver that are responsible for breaking down and oxidizing fat. In simple terms, they help the liver burn through stored fat more efficiently rather than allowing it to accumulate further in liver cells. Naringenin in particular has attracted serious attention from pharmaceutical researchers because it activates some of the same metabolic pathways that certain liver medications are designed to target. A study published in the Journal of Nutritional Biochemistry found that naringenin significantly reduced liver fat accumulation and improved lipid metabolism markers in subjects with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, here is the warning I mentioned, and this is important. Grapefruit contains compounds that inhibit a key enzyme in your digestive system called CYP3A4. This enzyme is responsible for metabolizing a wide range of medications, including statins, which are cholesterol-lowering drugs, blood thinners like warfarin, and certain blood pressure medications. If you are taking any of these, grapefruit can cause your medication to reach dangerously high levels in your bloodstream. Before adding grapefruit to your daily routine, speak with your prescribing doctor first. This is not a reason to avoid grapefruit entirely if you are not on these medications. It is simply a reason to be informed. For those who can eat it safely, aim for half a grapefruit eaten whole in the morning, ideally before your first meal. Eating it whole preserves the fiber content, which slows sugar absorption and adds the gut health benefit that juice alone cannot provide. Pink and red varieties tend to have higher concentrations of the active flavonoids than white grapefruit. If you are currently on medication and you had no idea grapefruit could interact with it, hit the like button on this video right now. That one piece of information alone could matter more than everything else in this video for some of you watching. I told you at the beginning that number 3 would surprise you. Most people, when they think about fruit and liver health, go immediately to lemons, oranges, or berries. Almost nobody thinks about kiwi. But when I first looked at the clinical data behind kiwi and liver function, I had to read it twice because the results were that unexpected. Let me give you the context first. A 48-year-old man, moderately overweight, with a confirmed diagnosis of grade 1 to 2 fatty liver disease, participated in a 12-week dietary study. He made no significant changes to his overall caloric intake or exercise routine. The only structured addition was 2 whole kiwi fruits consumed daily. At the end of 12 weeks, his ALT levels had dropped measurably, his fasting triglycerides had improved, and a follow-up ultrasound showed a reduction in liver fat density. The researchers noted that the results were consistent with findings across the broader study group, not an isolated outcome. So what makes kiwi this effective for the liver specifically? The first mechanism is vitamin C. A single kiwi contains more vitamin C than an equivalent serving of orange. And vitamin C plays a direct and critical role in liver function because it is the primary cofactor your liver needs to synthesize glutathione. Glutathione is the liver's most important internal antioxidant and detoxification molecule. Without adequate vitamin C, your liver cannot produce enough glutathione to neutralize the toxic byproducts generated by fat metabolism. When fat is being broken down in a fatty liver, it generates oxidative stress as a byproduct. Glutathione is what controls and clears that stress. More vitamin C means more glutathione means a liver that can manage that oxidative load far more effectively. The second mechanism is an enzyme found almost exclusively in kiwi called actinidin. Actinidin significantly improves the digestion and absorption of dietary proteins. This is important for the liver because poorly digested proteins generate ammonia and other nitrogenous waste products in the gut that must be filtered and detoxified by the liver. Better protein digestion upstream means less nitrogenous waste reaching the liver, reducing the detoxification burden on already stressed liver cells. A study published in the Asia-Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that regular kiwi consumption was associated with improved antioxidant status and reduced markers of liver cell stress in adults with metabolic liver conditions. Here is how to get the most from kiwi. Eat 2 whole kiwis per day, ideally in the morning or as a midday snack. Eat them with the skin on if you can tolerate it. The skin contains a concentrated amount of fiber and additional antioxidant compounds that the flesh alone does not provide. If the texture is a concern, blend the whole fruit, skin included, into a smoothie. Are you surprised that kiwi made this list? If you are going to add kiwi to your diet starting this week, type the number 7 in the comments right now. I want to see how many people watching this are ready to make that one specific change today. Apples, I know. You have heard this one before, but I want to challenge you to hear it differently this time because the reason apples belong on a liver health list has almost nothing to do with the reasons most people think. Most people associate apples with general nutrition, vitamins, natural sugar in a better form than processed food. All of that is true, but largely beside the point when we are talking about fatty liver specifically. What makes apples genuinely powerful for liver health is something called pectin, and understanding how pectin works will completely change how you think about this fruit. Pectin is a soluble fiber found in high concentrations in apple flesh and especially in apple skin. When you eat an apple, the pectin forms a gel-like substance in your digestive tract. That gel physically binds to fat molecules, bile acids, and certain toxins in your gut before they can be absorbed into your bloodstream. It essentially traps them and carries them out of your body through normal digestion. Fat and toxins that never enter your bloodstream never reach your liver. Your liver does not have to filter what never arrives. Beyond that direct mechanism, pectin acts as a prebiotic. It feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, particularly species that produce short-chain fatty acids, which are molecules that reduce intestinal permeability. This is critical for fatty liver because one of the key drivers of liver inflammation in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a process called leaky gut, where bacterial toxins called lipopolysaccharides cross a compromised gut barrier and travel directly to the liver through the portal vein, triggering chronic inflammatory responses in liver tissue. A healthier gut barrier means less of those inflammatory signals reaching the liver every single day. A study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that pectin-rich diets were associated with significant reductions in liver fat content and improvements in gut microbiome composition in participants with fatty liver disease. Eat your apple whole with the skin on. Do not juice it. Juicing removes the pectin entirely and leaves you with concentrated fructose, which is the opposite of what your liver needs. Green apples, such as Granny Smith varieties, tend to have higher pectin content and lower sugar than red varieties, making them the stronger choice for liver health specifically. Dark grapes. And this one comes with a compound that pharmaceutical researchers are actively studying as a potential treatment for liver fibrosis, which is the stage of liver damage that comes after prolonged fatty liver disease goes unaddressed. That compound is called resveratrol, and it is found in the highest concentrations in the skin and seeds of dark-colored grapes, particularly black and deep purple varieties. Here is what resveratrol does inside the liver at a cellular level. Liver fibrosis occurs when liver cells called hepatocytes are damaged and die, and the body responds by replacing them with scar tissue made of collagen fibers. Over time, if this process continues unchecked, enough scar tissue accumulates to impair liver function significantly, eventually leading to cirrhosis. Resveratrol has been shown in multiple studies to activate a gene called SIRT1, which is a key regulator of cellular aging and inflammation. When SIRT1 is activated, it inhibits the signaling pathways that drive fibrosis, effectively telling the cells responsible for scar tissue formation to slow down. At the same time, resveratrol reduces the oxidative stress that is driving hepatocyte death in the first place, addressing both the cause and the consequence of liver damage simultaneously. A study published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity found that resveratrol supplementation was associated with significant reductions in liver inflammation markers, liver fat content, and early fibrosis indicators in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Before I move on, I want to address something directly. Resveratrol is also found in red wine, and some people use this as a reason to include alcohol in a liver health conversation. Do not. Alcohol is metabolized directly by the liver and creates acetaldehyde, a toxic compound that causes direct liver cell death. There is no amount of resveratrol in wine that offsets the damage alcohol does to a liver that is already under stress. Eat the grapes. Skip the wine. Aim for 1 to 1.5 cups of dark grapes per day, eaten whole with the skin and seeds intact where possible. The seeds contain the highest concentration of resveratrol of any part of the fruit. Seedless varieties still provide meaningful benefit, but at a lower level of the active compound. Now I want to address something that most videos on this topic skip entirely, and skipping it is a serious mistake. Not all fruit is safe in unlimited quantities when you have a fatty liver. Certain fruits are high enough in fructose that eating them regularly and in large amounts can actively worsen liver fat accumulation. Here is the biology. Unlike glucose, fructose is metabolized almost exclusively in the liver. When fructose arrives at the liver in large quantities, the liver converts the excess directly into fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis, which means new fat creation. This is the same biological pathway that makes high fructose corn syrup so damaging to liver health. Natural fructose from fruit follows the same pathway when consumed in excess. The fruits highest in fructose that you need to moderate are ripe mangoes, lychees, longan, ripe bananas, and large quantities of grapes when eaten beyond the recommended serving. This does not mean you must eliminate these fruits completely. It means you need to be intentional about portion size, eat them earlier in the day when your metabolic rate is higher, and always pair them with protein or fiber to slow fructose absorption and reduce the spike reaching your liver. Let me bring everything together. Blueberries reduce oxidative stress in liver cells through anthocyanins and support glutathione production. Grapefruit activates fat-burning enzyme pathways in the liver through naringenin, with an important medication interaction warning to check first. Kiwi supplies the vitamin C your liver needs to produce its own internal antioxidant defense, while its unique enzyme reduces the digestive waste load reaching your liver. Apples deliver pectin that traps fat and toxins before they reach your liver, and feed the gut bacteria that protect the gut-liver axis. Dark grapes provide resveratrol, which works at the genetic level to slow liver fibrosis and reduce cellular inflammation. 5 fruits, 5 distinct mechanisms, all of them supported by clinical research, and all of them available in any grocery store starting today. Here is the one decision I want you to make right now, not 5 changes, just one. Pick the fruit on this list that is easiest for you to add to your routine tomorrow morning and start there. One consistent daily habit will do more for your liver over the next 3 months than any dramatic short-term dietary overhaul. If this video helped you understand something about your liver that you did not understand before, share it with one person in your life who needs to hear it. And subscribe to this channel, because next week I am covering the 5 morning drinks that clinical research links directly to accelerated liver fat reduction. You do not want to miss that one. Take care of yourself.